What is Miss Universe? Is it just a platform that celebrates outward beauty? Is it just about beautiful tall girls walking down the ramp in beautiful designer clothes? No. No. In reality, Miss Universe is a leadership platform which gives young women a chance to foray into the field of their choice, armed with a lot of knowledge and information. The young girls represent their countries not just with humility, pride, and enthusiasm, but also with a whole lot of preparation. As a communications coach, I love working with these young girls to help them understand their authentic stories, to know exactly how they can share their stories with the world, to know exactly how they can impact and influence audience members, and how they can truly win hearts of all the people in the universe. This year too, I got an opportunity to coach Sujita Basnet as she enters this competition representing Nepal and not just carrying with her her own dreams but also the dreams of the Athat. Here is a quick flashback video that's going to give you an insider's peek into all that we experience in the fun, enlightening and very, very entertaining sessions. Do take a look. On this day, I spent all my time asking Sujita specific questions that helped me to know her better. Understanding your client's values, stories, and goals is of invaluable importance in coaching. The session brought us so close as individuals. It was amazing to hear about her life experiences across continents and her grit, especially in the world of pageantry. As is very common, once I start probing, Sujita too shed a tear or two, but later started delving into a journey of introspection. Today I had my first session with Sujita. Today's session basically focused on me trying to understand her life, her values, her stories, her experiences, because truly through understanding these we can understand what her values are and how she needs to frame the narratives to be able to share these values with the world. In talking to her, I realized that she's a very honest, very diligent girl who spoke to me today for the first time without a filter. Not only could I understand what she brings to the table, not only could I understand what she is shaped by, I was also immensely touched to see a couple of times that she was teary-eyed as she spoke about the wonderful times that she's had in her childhood and some of the most profound experiences that have made her who she is. As we embark on this journey, I'm extremely excited to find out more about her, and I am looking at framing all of the content that she's given me into narratives to help her understand what made her who she is and how she can use these narratives and the tone she can give to all of these premises as she moves ahead.
So today I just had my first session with Manashi ji as I'm preparing for Miss Universe 2021, and the session was very, very helpful. Even though it was the first session, we had a conversation about a lot of things that really define who I am as an individual. It's really hard to go to a competition like Miss Universe and really tell your true story in such short time and space that you're given. And so Manashi ji is really helping me to define who I really am and tell the stories that I may not find important but are actually important to share.
On this day, I shared Sujita's stories with her using certain tools and techniques that made them even more effective. They sounded more engaging, and using certain details of storytelling helped elevate mundane incidents into landmarks from her life that can inspire little girls from all over the world.
Today was my second day working with Manashi ji on my Miss Universe journey, and today we talked a lot about storytelling and the importance of storytelling, especially during interviews. So as I'm going in and preparing for my interviews for Miss Universe, it's really important for me to grab the attention of the interviewers and the audience in general, because there's 70 plus other women that are also running for the same title of Miss Universe, and really everyone is qualified, but really what you want to do is connect with them, to be able to tell them who you are from within, create a connection with them, create a story, tell them about you as a person, a human at the end of the day, because anyone can do the job, but what makes you different is what actually connects you to everyone.
Today was my second session with Sujita and we spoke about storytelling. After having had the conversation with her yesterday, I realized that she has some fantastic experiences, and I helped her today to shape these experiences into stories that connect, that add value, and into stories that genuinely inspire people. I'm looking forward to how she's going to use these stories to talk about herself and girls like her to the world at large. This day, I helped Sujita learn the power of formatting an organization as she prepares to give answers in interviews. Interviews can be scary, but knowing the technical skills of how to answer questions can go a long way in helping you to portray an accurate and impressive picture of yourself. As a coach, I love helping people prepare for interviews as it gives them immense confidence knowing how to tackle just about any question thrown at them. Today we had the third session. Today's session was not so much about understanding her stories. It was about understanding how to format her stories and how to put them within the structure of the interview. I really enjoyed this conversation with Sujita because not only did we discuss how she should present herself in the interview, the body language, the voice, the words, the eye contact, but we also spoke very specifically about questions that are most likely to be asked and how she should answer them using the most substantial and profound stories from her life. It was a very interesting session and I think we ended up laughing more than we did anything else. And I'm truly looking forward to how she performs in the interview that's happening on Saturday.
Today we talked a lot about complementing the content of what we're saying with our body language. We talked about our hand placement, our eye contact when it comes to giving an interview, whether it's online or in person, and also a lot of other things as well as like body posture, your voice, and we're gonna go more into depth through the next session.
This day was all about nailing the super crucial 30-second questions which form the deciding round at Miss Universe. I helped Sujita understand the basics of thinking on her feet and organizing her answers mentally so that she can articulate complicated concepts within a short frame of time.
So today I had my fourth session with Manashi Ji and it was a great session. We prepared for the 30-second question and answer for Miss Universe, which is the most daunting part of the entire competition. It's also the final moment that decides the winner of Miss Universe, and you get 30 seconds to answer a question on any topic, and you really have to be prepared to answer on the spot for whatever they throw at you. Sometimes even things that you may not even know about. Thank you, Manashi Ji, for such a great session, and I am really looking forward to the next sessions, which is going to be building on top of this, and that's going to cover everything from body language to manner to voice. And I have lots of homework to do, but I had a great session today.
Any speech gets its flavor from how you say it. This super long session focused on body language and voice modulation, both of which helped Sujita transform her speaking. Through a host of activities, exercises, demos, and practice sessions, I managed to see a complete transformation in her tone, throw, and poise. Sujita's posture and body language too became more powerful and in tune with the brave, bold, and beautiful leader that she really is. Today was my fifth session with Sujita. Today's session is always my favorite because it's the most transformational. It's the one session in which you can actually see the progress happening right in front of your eyes. Today's session was on voice and body language. I believe truly that the voice and body language have the power to metamorphose and completely transform whatever your content is. Today, it was very nice to see that just in 10-15 minutes of giving her a few tips, Sujita could imbibe these and she changed into this leader with a different body language, a different stance, and the way she took up space was absolutely phenomenal. I know that this new manner, combined with her already strong content, is going to give her a great platform as she speaks on the international stage.
So today I did my fifth session with Manashi Ji, and today was honestly one of those very transformational sessions. I realized not only that the content of a speech or any message is important, but your mannerism and your presence on stage is also equally important. Today we worked on a lot of things such as voice modulation, enunciation, and practicing our hand movements. And we also recorded our different sessions throughout the day, and we were able to see the difference in how I've progressed. And this was really, really helpful and has allowed me to understand things that I need to work on, things that I need to improve on, and has allowed me to understand the power of voice. So really had a fun session today. We literally stood across the room from each other and practiced a bunch of question and answer, and we progressed as we went along. So definitely had a productive session and looking forward to the next few sessions as well.
This day was a culmination of all that Sujita has learnt, imbibed, and internalized over the past few weeks. I made her put in hours of speaking while carefully scrutinizing and ironing out any minor imperfections in her body language, voice, or content. By the end of it, I know she was exhausted, but I needed to instill a sense of confidence in her that only comes from positive reinforcement and genuinely good work.
So today was my final session with Manashi Ji, and this was the most important session and the most valuable session so far, because we focused a lot on our judges interview. So the judges interview at Miss Universe is the one component of the competition that selects the top 20 for the grand finals. And so it's really important that out of the 70 plus contestants, you're really leaving an impression, but at the same time allowing the judges to really understand who you are. And given the short time period that we usually have with the judges, it's really important to tell those stories in a very articulate manner, but also in a manner that emotionally connects with them. And so Manashi really helped work out my stories, and she helped me format them in a way that's effective, that's short, that's precise, but at the same time it brings emotional value to the conversation. And we also worked on body language, my stance, how to feel comfortable when I'm talking, interacting with the judges, and the overall presence of someone during an interview. And this was very, very, very useful and very helpful. So thank you so much for a great session. I had a wonderful time. I've learned a lot, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to practice this as I go off on my journey.
Today was my final session with Sujita, and I realized that more than anything else, I've become extremely fond of this girl. Not only is she very sharp, I also managed to figure out how she learns best, and that is through repetition and practice. Today's entire session was focused on practice. We practiced a lot of the various answers that were going to come in the interview that generally are asked for interviews like this. And I realized that she's got a very profound way of thinking, and the way she's managing to articulate is much better than before. I also helped her understand her stories even better, to be able to come up with the best ways of answering the simplest of questions. We worked very hard on the body language bit of it today, and I kept on telling her things like, don't move your feet, don't shake your hips, don't do this, don't do that. And by the end of it, I think it was hilarious, because she was conscious of every movement of her body, but she really transformed, and I know that now she's very well prepared to tackle just about anything that's going to be asked to her as she represents the country on the international platform. From my end, all the best for you, Sujita. I'm really hopeful that you're going to bring home the crown this time, and I'm really, really rooting for you. Remember, I'm going to be cheering for you all the way. All the best.